3%. That's the conviction rate for white-collar crime in this country. 3%. You're more likely to get struck by lightning while singing Happy Birthday than you are to see a CEO in an orange jumpsuit. Unless the CEO is your little brother. And unless the star witness is you. That's exactly what happened to me. I'm not talking about a fender bender. I'm not talking about shoplifting a lip gloss from Target. I'm talking about $12 million. Wire fraud. Money laundering. RICO charges. The kind of alphabet soup that puts you in a federal penitentiary for 25 years. No parole. 25 years. I counted the days in the holding cell. 730 days before my trial. 2 years of stale bologna sandwiches and the smell of other men's despair. 2 years of staring at a concrete wall and seeing his face. Julian. My baby brother. 5 years younger. The one I changed diapers for. The one I taught to ride a bike on the cracked pavement of our driveway in Ohio. The one I bailed out of gambling debts at 22, and coke debts at 25, and bad investment debts at 28. I was the rock. The responsible one. The good son. He was the storm. Chaos in a tailored suit. Charisma that could talk a bird out of a tree. And a moral compass that spun wildly depending on which way the wind blew. We built Vantage Capital together. My brain. His mouth. My spreadsheets. His handshakes. I handled the compliance. The filings. The boring, soul-crushing architecture of legality. He handled the clients. The parties. The yachts. The relationship building. I should have known. When the money got too easy. When the offshore vehicles started looking less like tax shelters and more like washing machines. I confronted him. In the corner office. The one with the view of the Hudson. Julian, I said. The Cayman accounts. The shell corporations moving money to the Panama Papers list. This isn't aggressive accounting. This is a crime scene. He didn't flinch. He never flinched. He poured a Macallan 18. Neat. 2 fingers. Relax, big brother, he said, swirling the amber liquid. It's just optimization. The IRS expects it. The lawyers blessed it. You're the compliance officer, Elias. You signed off on the quarterly reviews. I signed off on your summaries, I snapped. Not the source documents. You never gave me the source documents. He smiled. That crooked, dimpled smile that got him out of a broken window at age 6 and a DUI at 21. That's because you don't need the details, Eli. You need the results. The results pay for this building. They pay for mom's care facility. They pay for your daughter's tuition at NYU. He played the Sophie card. My little girl. 7 years old. Braids. Gap-toothed smile. The only pure thing in my life. He used her like a shield. Like a weapon. Walk away, he whispered. Go to the Hamptons. Take the boat. I'll clean it up. I always clean it up. 3 weeks later, the FBI kicked in my front door. 6 a.m. Tactical gear. Flashbangs weren't used, but the shouting might as well have been. They terrified Sophie. They handcuffed me in my boxers on the Persian rug Julian helped me pick out. The lead agent, a guy named Miller with a jawline like a shovel, slammed a thick folder on the kitchen counter. Elias Thorne, he said. You have the right to remain silent. I'm a compliance officer, I stammered. I file paperwork. I flag anomalies. You are the anomaly, Miller said. We have a cooperating witness. Someone very close to the operation. Someone who signed the wire transfers. Someone who set up the Belize Trust. My blood went cold. Not fear. Cold. Absolute zero. Who? I whispered. Miller slid a single photograph across the counter. A screenshot from a secure messaging app. Encrypted. Deleted. Recovered by the NSA, probably. It was a chat log. Me. My handle. Ironclad_E. Asterisk move the 4.2 from Belize to the Delaware LLC. Use the standard routing. Burn the docs after. Asterisk my thumbprint was on the phone. My Face ID unlocked it. My password was the name of my dead dog. I didn't send that, I said. The words tasted like copper. That's not me. I don't talk like that. Burn the docs? I'm the one who keeps the docs. Your device. Your biometrics. Your credentials, Miller said. And the witness? They're ready to testify that you were the architect. The Iron Hand. They say Julian was just the front. The face. You were the brain. The room spun. The Persian rug tilted. Julian. He didn't just throw me under the bus. He built the bus. He drove it over me. Then he reversed and did it again. Bail was denied. Flight risk. They cited my extensive international network. Network. Right. Julian's network. I sat in the Metropolitan Correctional Center. 10 by 10. A roommate named Tiny who cried for his mom every night at 3 a.m. I had 2 visits a week. Non-contact. Glass partition. A phone receiver that smelled like bleach and earwax. Mom came first. Her hands shook against the glass. The Parkinson's was winning. She couldn't speak loud enough for the receiver. She just held up a piece of paper. Shaky handwriting. Asterisk he came to me. Last week. He said you were sick. He said you needed the money moved for your treatment. He said you asked him to use your phone. He said you were confused, asterisk I pressed my forehead to the cold glass. The buzz of the fluorescent lights drilled into my skull. He went to Mom. Dying Mom. He manipulated a woman with a degenerating brain into being his alibi. That was the floor. I thought that was the bottom. Then Sophie came. My ex-wife, Sarah, brought her. Court ordered. Supervised. Sophie didn't look at me. She colored a picture of a unicorn. Purple mane. Rainbow horn. Daddy, she said, not looking up. Uncle Julian says you're a bad man. He says you stole money from sick people. He says that's why we can't go to Disney World anymore. The crayon snapped in my hand. He says, she continued, voice flat, robotic, that you're going away for a long time. And that he's going to take care of us now. He bought me a pony, Daddy. A real pony. He says you're the monster. A pony. He bought my daughter a pony with the $12 million he stole from the pension fund of a hospital chain in Michigan. $12 million that was supposed to buy hip replacements and insulin. And he bought her loyalty with it. I hung up the phone. I didn't say goodbye. I spent the next 18 months in the law library. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating the bologna. I traded my commissary ramen for photocopies of Federal Rules of Evidence, Brady v. Maryland, Giglio v. United States. I learned the system. The real system. Not the one on TV. The one built on paper trails and procedural errors and the arrogance of prosecutors who think they've already won. Julian thought he was smart. He is smart. Street smart. People smart. But he wasn't system smart. He didn't know I kept a shadow ledger. Not on the cloud. Not on a server. Not on a phone. In a safety deposit box. Box 404. Key taped to the back of the electrical panel in the boiler room of the building I owned, under the LLC I set up 10 years before Vantage existed. Thorn Legacy Holdings. Boring name. Invisible name. Inside the box, a pristine, air-gapped laptop. Encrypted with a 256-bit key derived from a poem my father wrote for my mother on their wedding day. A poem Julian never knew existed. A poem he never cared to ask about. On that laptop, every email. Every wire instruction. Every original document Julian lost or never received. The real source documents. The ones showing Julian's fingerprints on the Belize routing. Julian's voice memos authorizing the Panama transfer. Julian's signature on the Shell Corp bylaws, forged by his assistant but authorized by his explicit text, * do whatever it takes. Sign my name. I'm on the boat. * and the crown jewel. A video file. Timestamped 3 days before my arrest. Julian. Subscribe to Betrayal and Revenge for more unbelievable stories of betrayal and karma.